we go. Here we go, yeah. Here we go. Here we go, yeah. Here we go.
Feel like they Friday.
Here we go, yeah. Here we go. Here we go,
Y'all know who it is.
Here we go. Here we go, yeah.
I ain't even gonna say it this time.
Here we go, yeah.
What's going on, peeps? Joan Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys. This is for the bout between Steve USS Cunningham and Yoan Pablo Hernandez. Bout takes place for the IBF Cruiserweight Championship this weekend on Saturday. Puts together the champion, Yoan Pablo Hernandez versus Steve USS Cunningham. So this is a rematch from a bout that took place last September. Hernandez, the bout ended because of a cut that Hernandez had sustained in like the third round. Some people believe that, and a lot of people believe that Cunningham won the fight. So, but also some people believe that Cunningham should have been counted out in the first round when he was hit with that equilibrium shot. And also he was given a little bit of extra time, even after that round, because Nazim Richardson, put the water on his, splashed the water on his head, and so that gave him a little bit of extra time. But overall, with this fight, you got Steve USS Cunningham, a fighter with a lot of experience, has faced a majority of the fighters that are top contenders at cruiserweight against Yoan Pablo Hernandez, who's been around. He's a very solid fighter. But I thought in the fight that even though Cunningham started out a bit slow, I thought that Cunningham was getting to the point to where he was going to begin to outpoint him. But one thing that I could say that Hernandez does well is Hernandez does kind of try to set himself up for his offense quite well. If you look in the fight with a lot of southpaw fighters, the right hand is usually the kryptonite for that kind of fighter. But it's hard to land on a Hernandez because Hernandez will shell up, and he covers himself up, and I think it probably works against the Cunningham because Cunningham will not come out and throw combinations unless you force him to or unless you pressure him. But he's pretty good at what he does. He's pretty decent at counterpunching. But it's harder against Cunningham because Cunningham has a longer reach, and Cunningham is moving all the time. In this particular fight, Hernandez wants to take this fight to Cunningham. He doesn't want to give Cunningham much room. He wants to come in and just go for the gusto in this fight. Come forward, walk in behind the jab, and just go to his body because Cunningham does tend to pick up late. Does from time to time pick up late in fights. So he wants to come in and just go for it against Cunningham. It's like what's the worst that could happen? Cunningham is going to catch him with anything that may hurt him. He might lunge, and since it's a southpaw orthodox fight, he might just come down with the head, and then you get the clash of heads, and the cut might open up. But just overall, I just think he needs to go for it against Cunningham, cut off that ring against him, use the jab, and also look for the right hand because Cunningham does tend to leave his left hand low. If he fights Cunningham in close proximity, Cunningham is going to have a lot of trouble, being that he has a long reach. He has a long reach, and he's trying to. And the thing is, on the outside, Cunningham works well because he can just stand out on the outside and just throw straight punches. So in this particular fight, he has to come in and he has to shell up and hit Cunningham, with his punch, hit Cunningham with short hooks on the inside, and actually kind of square up with Cunningham, and he has to get his head on his chest, which is going to be very difficult to do. But I think that Hernandez does have the chin to probably take some punches coming in, only to give a few punches back on the inside. But also on the outside, look to land the southpaw jab with the lead right hand because of Cunningham's deficiency of keeping the left hand low. But also look for the uppercut inside because I don't know if Cunningham can take that uppercut on the inside. I don't think he will really defend himself on the inside against the uppercut. But just thinking this fight, Hernandez needs to go in and just go for it against Cunningham. I just think he needs to go in and go for it. Continue to just come in and attack him and go on from there. On the other hand, you have Steve USS Cunningham. Cunningham like I said, is a fighter. He's rangy, has a long jab, and a majority of his punches are coming straight. He moves a lot. He likes to set up his shots. Doesn't throw too many combinations, unless he's trying to keep you off of him. But in this particular fight against Hernandez, he's gonna have to utilize a lot of movement in this fight, because against a fighter that will square up and shell up like Hernandez, they have to continue to get their feet set. So while a fighter that can move like a Cunningham, they have to get their feet set and they have to continue turning to get in front of them. Cunningham is gonna have to move and use his jab and keep him on the outside with the jab. Pretty much in this fight, it's that simple. It's going to be movement and straight shots, using the reach to his advantage. And I think just overall, just based on that, he could very well win the fight based on that. And also, he has to start a lot faster, especially against Hernandez, who is very defensive and offensive minded, who is looking to from time to time to hurt his opponent. But also looking for ways to outpoint his opponent. But overall, Cunningham is just gonna have to stay on the outside. This is just gonna have to be an outside fight. He's gonna have to continue to pivot, look to land a jab from some angles, but also from time to time in certain sequences of the fight, Cunningham is gonna have to open up and throw some combinations, because if he opens up and he throws combinations, Hernandez will open up himself, and he's open to the right hand. And when Hernandez is open, when he kind of shells up, and then he comes in, he'll get a little bit wide, and that will just make it easy for Cunningham to come in and throw that right hand. Come in and the right hand's gonna land before Hernandez's hook will land. So, just overall, who I think is going to win this fight, I'm going to go with Steve USS Cunningham in this fight. Being that he's been in the ring for a few rounds with Hernandez, I think he knows what he needs to do in this fight, and probably just pick up and continue where he left off. So I'm going to go with Steve USS Cunningham in this fight, winning a decision against Hernandez. So anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. That was The Distance. Thanks for watching.
Hey, it's a little late. Saigon, just blaze. Just out here in the field, man, trying to make these ends meet. Every time you look around, there's some shit going down, man. We're trying to make a better way.